to talk now about the about your big news, your, I suppose, partnership, would you call it, with
Yes, partnership.
So
Yeah,
talk to me about
this
the partnership.
Yeah,
with the manager in the UK.
Yes. So over the last couple of months, myself and Kevin Maree from Maree Boxing in England have been talking about working a lot closer together, you know, because we were working together anyway, yeah, on this very small basis, you know, and we just decided let's formally do something and try and create something bigger than the whole of this sum, yeah, is bigger than the individual parts, right?
Yeah.
So the two of us together could do something bigger than the two of us working individually, in terms of Boxing Ireland and Maree Boxing. So we've going to have a formal partnership where we're going to do shows together.
Excellent.
And where he's leading shows in the UK, we'll have our fighters on there, and vice versa. And he has a big Irish background. He's been looking to work in the Irish market for a long time, and now that he's heavily involved in the Fight Zone, this is the opportunity to bring Fight Zone to Ireland. So we will see Fight Zone in Ireland very soon, and
excellent.
We'll be heavily involved in those shows, and also we will be announcing multiple shows that not quite co-promotions. We'll still lead the ones that are in Ireland, and he'll still lead the ones that are in England. But there'll be a heavy crossover there, yeah, and there'll be a lot of consultancy involved between the two of us as well, and fighter development. So we have had a lot of fighters from England ask us to manage them, and we don't really want to do that with Boxing Ireland promotions. Yeah, but the clue is there. Yeah, but you know, we would look at doing some international stuff. But anybody in England, they will go through Kevin, and also we will be any fighters that he wants to sign in Ireland, we will be getting involved there as well.
Yeah.
So on all levels, from the marketing to the fighter management to shows to cross promotion to everything, we'll be getting involved with that. But what the main thing that will really probably change is the opportunities that our fighters get with the big promoters in England. Massive. So that's the, whilst all the rest of the stuff is good, but we're kind of able to do that ourselves, each individually do that ourselves.
Yeah.
But where it really gets good for our fighters is once they've taken the first couple of steps up the ladder. Yeah. Now we don't have to throw them in somewhere, or we don't have to look for a fight, or, you know, we'll be funneling them through the contacts that he has in the UK with all the big promotion companies, and we'll be working together to get them the biggest fights. So there's a clear progression from debut on into titles, into European titles and beyond, if you're good enough, you know. So that's the best thing about it, and we're really glad to be working with Kevin, because we, like I say, I have a close personal relationship with Kevin for over a decade.
Yeah.
He's a guy that I trust significantly, and we've always been in touch anyway, and it was only a matter of time really before we started working together formally. And I will only work with people that I am friends with, you know.
Yeah.
Like when I started Boxing Ireland Promotions, even when it morphed from like a website, YouTube channel into boxing management and promotion, yeah, like the first guy that came on board again, you know, once we started looking at doing shows was Stephen Sharp, who again, the friend of mine from years previous. And then Dennis, when he came back, Dennis Morrison, when he came back from Australia, like Dennis was a good friend of mine way before he went to Australia and involved in the boxing. So, and now Kevin, who I knew from years ago again. So it's not like there's no random people just coming in. Yeah. And that's why we work so closely together, himself, Dennis and Stephen, is because we have this long relationship. It's not like somebody's you just, oh, you come and do this stuff for us. It's not like that. We've got long-term relationships. There's a long built trust there between us.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Open. Yeah,
Trust.
and now get trust. I mean, that's massive in boxing, is the trust. People think, oh, no trust. Well, yeah, there are a lot of people that are bluffers and backstabbers and bullshitters in boxing, but they're generally newbies.
Okay.
Yeah. The problems we mainly have are with people who haven't been involved in boxing a wet weekend. Yeah. They've watched Sky shows and they think that that's all boxing. Yeah. And then they don't realize, all right, so not everybody has the TV contract with millions of pounds to spend on their shows and stuff like that. And they don't understand the pyramid of boxing.
Yeah.
You know, all they're used to is that little top level at the top of the pyramid. Yeah. That's all they were exposed to. Anthony Joshua shows, big shows like that. So they don't read that. That's the problems we have. So we don't have those problems with these guys, because these guys are grassroots, have grown up through it, have long relationships and experience in the boxing industry. And Kevin, he was a very good trainer. You know, he trained a lot of good guys from Carl Frampton to Kenny Anderson, and he left that. He left the boxing game and went away and had a family and all that kind of stuff. And now, but since he's come back in the management role, he's really taken the UK by storm. And I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think he could be the biggest manager in the UK, if not Europe.
Okay.
You know, he's got like 80 guys in a stable. So between the two of us now, we've got over 100 fighters in the stable, which is, you know, it is one of the biggest stables in the whole of Europe.
Definitely.
You know? This brings us up a level.
Definitely. Well, that's kind of where I was going as well. Like, and this might seem like a slightly trivial question as well, but how does it affect things like the name of the company and stuff like that? Like, what kind of deal is this? Is it more of a kind of a formal agreement to work together, or is this kind of more of a business deal? And then I suppose, as a slight segue from that as well, you know, how does this affect your, financial resources? Let's kind of call a spade here. You know, from a business perspective, how does it affect your ability, you know, from that perspective as well? You know.
Yeah, well, it's a formal partnership. Yeah, so we will both retain our individual brandings. Yeah, like we don't brand our shows in Ireland as Boxing Ireland shows anyway. They're Celtic Clash. Yeah. Our shows are, people know our shows they're Celtic Clash. So that's going to continue. Celtic Clash series will continue, but everything will also be branded with the Maree Boxing. You know, so they're both. His shows will be branded with Boxing Ireland, and our shows will be branded with Maree Boxing. Now, it may come to a position where there becomes a new name, you know, and there's a whole new identity. But for the moment, we will retain individual identities, because people know Maree Boxing over there and they know Boxing Ireland over here. So yeah. But the main crux of it is really intelligence, contacts, working together, matchmaking together, doing the marketing together, all that kind of stuff. So it's just an increased level of professionalism and access to the big stages.
Okay, very good. And obviously you're talking about the platform as well that he has, is that Fight Zone platform, which seems to be gathering a lot of steam at the moment, and the productions look pretty well put together, etc. I mean, you've got some big names as well associated with those. I mean, Dave Allen is a pretty big name who seems to be associated with them as well.
Someone told me he's going to take out a promoter's license. He's going to be putting on his own shows, but I'm not 100% sure about that. But I think the main driver behind it is Dennis Hobson. So Dennis Hobson used to be Ricky Hatton's manager, and well-known promoter for years in the South Yorkshire, Sheffield area, and he's a real pioneer in the boxing industry. Like, when the pandemic hit, I think might be the first person to put on a non-televised show in the pandemic era. He did the car park, the drive-in boxing.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's fair play to him.
Fair play to him, yeah.
Yeah, and then he got into he's at him and his partners have created Fight Zone, which is like a Netflix of boxing kind of thing. Yeah,
Okay.
so it's like $4.99 a month, and you got access to all the live shows on there, and you just download the app on your either your tablet, or your phone, or your TV.
Very good.
So the production levels have been fantastic on it, and some of the fights have been great. Now, I think it'd be perfect for Celtic Clashes. Like,
be excellent.
We get some good meaty all Irish fights. Bring a couple of their guys over from England as well. Put the two of them together. Winner stays on type job. Excellent. And beating these guys, that will really give you elevate their stock. So I think Irish fight fans will really enjoy it.
Definitely.
I know it's in its infancy, and but so far so good.
Yeah,
the quality looks good. The production quality of it looks brilliant.
It does, and that's what I was going to say as well.
Need a product.
So the idea will be that they'll come over as well to the shows that you guys put on in Ireland, and I suppose stream those shows on their platform.
Like, I would like them to use some of the Irish talent as well. That would be good. But a mixture of the two, I think that would work well. So the Fight Zone, the regular Fight Zone viewers. So let's be honest, 90% of them are going to be in England, not even in the UK, in England.
Yeah. Purely
because that's where it started. Most of the promoters that are signed up to the Fight Zone platform are from England, and population-wise, there's 60 million people in England and 6 million across the whole of Ireland. They'll want to see a lot of their. We've not had any discussions about it yet, but I'm assuming that they'll maybe do a mix of Irish and English talent to front it. But the main thing is to get the right fights. Is to get. I would like it to be in the stadium. Because you can get a good crowd there. It's perfect it's set up for TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe even the Ulster Hall, showing the Ulster Hall.
Definitely.
We have a couple of big fights that could go in the Ulster Hall for next year, early next year. So, that could work. But yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm really excited about it. And Kevin's excited about it. So, we do have we have some good things planned.
Class.
We just want to get them. Let's get the word out there first, and then just start putting it together piece by piece. But I think it could be something big. It's just it's the breakthrough that boxers, especially in the Republic, have needed.
Yeah.
The exposure and just the defined pathway into big titles. So it should be great.
100%, and that's the thing that strikes me, and which I think will strike everyone, is that it's opportunity. That's what this deal is about. It's about opportunity for the fighters to make those, especially that, like we were kind of talking a little bit about before we started recording, is that those kind of maybe slightly more middle tier fights. At the start, you're fighting a lot of journeymen, and it's tough in a smaller promotional company to make those kind of step up fights, because maybe they're more logistically difficult, financially difficult. But maybe with this kind of partnership, with this more, with this platform as well, more viewership, etc., it might be a bit easier just to make those stepping fights, those slightly that step up for some of the guys. Aggression fights.
Having Maree boxing on board with boxing, what it does is it opens the doors.
Yeah.
We can't fight the fights for the guys, but what we can do is get them the right opportunities at the right time.
Exactly.
And this is just a door being held open for us, whereas before some of the doors may have been closed, but now the doors are all opened. Yeah. So, we have had some big name amateurs contact us over the last couple of weeks looking to sign as well. So, what we need to be able to show those guys that there's a pathway, that they can fight in the Republic of Ireland, that they can build their record here, and then when they're ready, they can go to England, or people can come here and they can have that opportunity to fill those middle gaps, those rungs on the ladder that may have potentially been missing before, but they're there now, and that's what this is. A facilitation.
Yeah, That's a good way of putting it for sure. So just to move on slightly, but I suppose kind of segue a little bit because it's related to that. You know, obviously you've come out, I think, in the past week or so and said that some of the guys will be out, I think, on those shows, right?
Yes.
So talk to me just about who, if you can, and obviously we'll put this out when it needs to go out. But
Yeah.
who's going to go out on kind of what shows, and then also just after that, are we still kind of on track for the next Celtic Clash in Belfast in October?
Well, first of all, yeah, we're looking to do our own two shows of our own.
Yeah.
Before the end of the year on the island of Ireland, one up north and one down south. Yeah. The one up north first because their COVID restrictions are opening up quicker. Their vaccinations are ahead of where they are in the Republic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's... Wait a minute, mate. Let me just...
No problem.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So their vaccination program is ahead of where ours are.
Yeah.
And oh man, I got my mate keeps calling me.
No problem.
So their vaccination program is ahead of ours, and their restrictions on venues and stuff like that is easing up a lot quicker than ours. So it makes sense to go there first. But you know what? To be honest with you, a lot of we'll be keeping an eye on the Fela show, the Top Ranks Fela show, just to see like how does that go? How does that go for them? How do they, how many fights are they allowed to put on it? Do they have to put people into bubbles? The logistics of it.
Yeah, 100%.
And so that will inform a lot of the decision makings that we have. But we're in this, it's by the time Celtic Clash 12 comes around for Belfast, it should be in a position where we get at least 50% of the crowd into an indoor venue.
Yeah.
So that'll be great. I'm really looking forward to that. That's where we want to be doing shows. We want to be doing shows in Ireland.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boxing Ireland promotions. Like it's not, you don't need to. We want to be putting boxing promotions on in Ireland.
It's Ron Sale, isn't it? It's exactly what it says in the tin.
Ron Sale. It looks, exactly. Looking thin. So we don't want to be having. We don't want to be having to go to Spain all the time, or to Luxembourg, or to Poland, or wherever, Hungary, or wherever, for guys to be getting fights, because financially it's not viable to do that. Like the only guys that were able to get out in Spain are guys that are backed by sponsors. They're pretty much we would have loved to, if you've got a sponsor that has an open checkbook, we can get you on a show every month somewhere in Europe. But it's impossible to go to your sponsors and ask them to do that.
Yeah.
It's just during a pandemic, everyone's struggling, And so where we want to be is, we want to be in Ireland, where people can sell tickets, boxers can make a bit of money, and we can put on good fights in front of crowds of people that want, so you can grow your fan base.
Exactly.
Like we do not want to be fighting in bloody empty basketball courts in bloody Belgium.
Yeah.
It's not. It doesn't, like, the only reason we went to Luxembourg and Spain is to facilitate the boxers. Like, it cost us money to go there. It cost everybody there. It cost everybody at the thing money. Every Irish boxer, every train, everyone. It costs everybody money to go there. Yeah. So I don't want to be. It's not sustainable to do that.
No.
Yeah. And so where we want to be is, we want to be in Ireland. So we want to be doing shows in Dublin, and we want to be doing shows in Belfast.
100%.
But not so, and we will be doing that. So we got Belfast lined up first because of the COVID situation, and then later on, towards the end of the year, we got something a bit different. Yeah. But we got something juicy in Dublin. Yeah. With someone else as well on board. Excellent. And we got Maree Boxing, and we got someone else, so There might even be other combat sports on the show as well, you know. So
Love to hear it.
Yeah. So because I think that worked well in the show in Cork.
Okay.
You know, and I had my eyes open to other combats because my eyes are pretty narrowly focused on boxing. I don't watch UFC or MMA. I don't watch kickboxing or Muay Thai or wrestling of any description or whatever. You know, I don't watch it. Don't watch it. But I really enjoyed the Muay Thai element of the Cork show. It was actually really entertaining. It's really good stuff. So I wouldn't mind. Let's put it this way. I wouldn't mind if there was some Muay Thai on the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
There'll be Muay Thai in the ring, and I'll be sitting ringside with a Muay Thai. Yeah. I'll be throwing one up to you as well, Len. Get that into you. That's on me, pal.
Well, after the show. Yeah.
Fair enough.
So that's those two. But also, now we're going to be tied in with Maree Boxing.
Yeah.
They're also going to have 3 shows before the end of the year as well. We will have boxers on each of those shows. Now, I don't want to give the identity of those boxers to you now because it's not our show. You know, it's a Maree Boxing show, and we want them to be able to announce fighters on that show. Yeah,
Fair
that's the prerogative of a promoter to be able to announce fights on their own show. But we will have someone on each one of those shows. We will have guys on there, and he will have guys on in Belfast and in Dublin as well on our shows.
Excellent.
So, like I say, it's grown that partnership, grown the trust that we can deliver for him, he can deliver for us.
Absolutely, yeah. And it just, I mean, straight away, it just sounds exciting. You know what I mean? And again, I know that sounds maybe slightly trivial, but it does. I mean, it sounds like it's a big step up. And it does sound like, I mean, even straight away, just the lads, I know you don't want to give any names away right now, but the lads getting opportunities to go over to England and again, because it's not the same as going to Spain or going to Luxembourg. It's like, it's a more, I don't know what the word is, not real, but I suppose it is more of an opportunity. It's not just getting a fight. It's like, you know, you maybe can get seen, and it's more of it's maybe a better controlled environment as well.
The Irish scene feeds into the British scene, you know. We're kind of an element of the British scene, effectively, you know.
To some degree, at
least.
Listen,
that's where you want to go. You want to go and you want to get signed by Frank Warren or Eddie Hearn or something. You don't want to be signed by someone in Spain.
No.
Or Belgium. You know, like, even though they've got really good promoters over there, you know. We work with a lot of them. But that's not what people want to do, because that's not. British promoters can sell Irish fighters, and British promoters have British TV at home. You know, Sky Sports, BT Sports. They're the kind. That's where you want to be going towards. Yeah. So that'd be great. And, like, you know, even like, let's say you had a guy out in let's say, for example, Liverpool. You know, it's very easy to access Liverpool.
Definitely.
You know.
Well, this is it.
Ferry, or like a 20-minute flight. You
100%.
know. You know, it's you know, I actually would like the ferry bridge. You know, I'd be, you know, go over there, fight the ferry trip, round trip. One day, you don't even stay in a hotel. Go over and get the ferry in the morning. Enjoy yourself on the ferry. Get to Liverpool. You know what I mean by enjoying yourself. You know, get your head down, get a bit of kip, and
get mentally prepped for the fights. You know.
Yeah, mentally prepped. Like, check the form books and all that kind of stuff. Maybe watch a wee bit of a previous video of the fights. You know, you go for a nice meal and some drinks in Liverpool. Then you go to the show, and you can get the ferry back at 2 a.m. And you can get a cabin on the way back and sleep the way back, and then you're fresh as days the next morning. So it's a good. I think I would enjoy. I think even though I won't be doing that, I think that I would enjoy to do that if I didn't have fighters on the show and I was going to watch somebody. Or you can just fly into Liverpool airport. It's bloody easy to join the airport. You know, you can do that either. No.
Or you can do the nutcase way of your ferry. Get over it. Absolutely Larry getting off the ferry. If you can even get to the show after that point, I'm proud of you already. Never mind getting home. If you get to the show,
but that's why I'm saying you go. That's why I'm saying go for a nice meal in Liverpool.
Yeah,
you know, you get to, you know, you settle yourself down. Maybe you can go do a bit of sightseeing. You know, down round the Beatles Quarter or Cathedral Quarter, and then up, and maybe I would do the Liverpool FC tour in Stanley Park.
Len, it's turning into an ad for Liverpool.
Good city. Hey, listen, it's I'll be honest with you. I lived in Manchester for over 10 years. Liverpool is a way better night out than Manchester. Like Liverpool is actually a really, really good night out.
Yeah,
people are actually very nice there as well. Manchester is a bit more edgy. I bloody love Manchester. You know what I mean? But
edgy is a very calculated choice of words.
Yes. But Liverpool is a much better. It's a much more. Do you know what? When the weather's good in Liverpool, it feels like you're like on holiday.
Yeah.
Like they have the windows. They opened up the windows of all the pubs, and the music's coming out on the street. That kind of sort of just nice.
Yeah, real kind of feels really inclusive or something. I was there. It's good crack.
So like Liverpool, it might be good to have a show in Liverpool.
Let's go. I feel like there might be something in the pipeline there. Let's keep an eye out for that Liverpool show. I'll be at that one. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.